Happy, happy quarantine, quarantine, quarantine. Happy, happy quarantine, silver shamrock. Hey kids, it's time for the big show. Get your Quarantine-Oween mask on for the big giveaway. Woo!
Welcome to 91 Reasons, a pop culture fueled rocket into the far reaches of nerd culture. Featuring your hosts, Jeff, Rachel, Luna, Austin, and Josie. It's Tucker time.
All right, Luna, happy Halloween Quarantine-Oween.
No.
Austin, Quarantine-Oween. And
What's your costume?
Austin, Quarantine-Oween.
Hello, everyone. I decided to get into the Quarantine-Oween spirit. I am Austin for Halloween, so I will now be the remainder of the episode as Austin. So there's two of them.
Question.
Identity theft is not a joke.
What is the best kind of smart car?
Actually, where'd you put the book up? I've been doing my research all day, and what I found actually.
I don't
is,
do that. I don't clap when I talk.
Yes, you do.
No, I don't. Mm-mm.
Yes, he does.
Nope, not true.
I found out.
Please do not whip my magazine. Be careful.
I found out that actually, hybrids, electronics.
Actually.
Does this mean we're going to see Austin in a dress tomorrow night as Josie?
No, because you know what
Josie
this
wouldn't
is?
wear a dress.
This isn't a costume. This is just more of busting my chops. She excels at this.
She was doing really good earlier.
Well, it's because of the occasion.
Yeah. So on this Quarantine-Oween, Austin, what will you be doing for your mother?
Everything, especially loading the dishwasher, and all of the towels, because I'm the only person in this house who does work.
I think you need to stay in
I
that
have a
outfit.
pumpkin.
It's the nicest she's ever been to
Happy
me.
Halloween.
She's pretending to be Austin.
See, Mom, I got my pumpkin.
Look at those!
Oh,
Look at those
good.
flaps! Oh, look at that!
Do you ever wear the flaps down?
Only when my ears get really
I think
cold.
it's a look. I think it's a look.
I have too
Put
much
the
hair
flaps
right
down.
now. I have my own flap.
I had to put my hair up in a ponytail because I had too much hair.
Gonna help your mother.
He can't reach
Everyone's lost their mind. This is the end.
Okay, so tonight, what day is it? Do you know, Austin?
16.
It is Sweet 16. 16 days of quarantine on Quarantine-Oween, March
You know,
31st.
16 was a great birthday for me. It's when I figured out that I was a furry. My persona is actually an Arctic fox. I really enjoy it. I used to actually write into this furry news website on Amino, but I don't do that anymore, sadly. I don't have time for it because I'm always working at Target.
The sweetest part of this, Austin, is she actually pays attention to your life.
She knows
I
a
know.
lot.
She's
I
nailed
know.
you down.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Can you describe
I know.
what happened 7 years ago today, Austin?
Yes, it was WonderCon Anaheim 2013. We went to a Starbucks, and I wanted to go in the convention. But you wanted Starbucks, and you insisted on your everything bagel, right? Because for 7 years now, you've ate the everything bagel at every Starbucks trip. God, how much money have you spent on bagels these past 7 years? Anyways, you get this bagel,
He is Jewish.
and I said, I just want to get to the con. And you said,
No, your mother
Mom.
said,
not till your father finishes his bagel. And what did I say after that?
you looked at that bagel and you went, ugh, bagel. And we've never forgotten it because
No.
in that moment, you hated that bagel so
yeah.
much.
It was preventing me from getting to the convention.
That was at the, is it the Radisson? Sheraton.
Yeah.
The Sheraton Anaheim. We had
Yep.
stayed there right next to the convention because that was the first time ever we sold the 6 key at a convention.
Oh, exciting.
We were headed to our
Yes.
table. 2 days later, tiny little Josie would win Comic-Con tickets.
There you go.
I remember that.
Should we get to the book report?
Yes, what are we doing tonight, Rachel?
Tonight, we are sharing a book we like. Molly, whose witch hat fell, but that's okay. Molly is sharing her book. Oh, Molly, you got your witch hat back. Molly's favorite book is Julie, the American Girl story.
I like this book because it's about somebody other than me.
She's obsessed with the 70s, so Julie's her favorite doll. Okay, Molly, my turn. Hold your book. Mine is The History of Halloween Haunted Knott's Berry Farm.
By my friend Ted Doherty.
Yes, and this is a very special copy because it used to belong to our friend Tony.
Nightmare Tony from Coffin Creek.
So, yeah, it just tells the whole history. If you're a fan of Halloween Haunt, it's a really good read. I recommend it. Give it a thumbs up. Get you ready for that Halloween Haunt juice. I'm ready now. Let's go.
Happy Quarantine-Oween.
Happy Quarantine-Oween.
Give us a witch cackle.
That's the best I can do tonight.
All right. And Luna, are you ready to share your book?
So Dave says, where am I at here? I had a quote.
Oh, he's reading it.
Dave says, through with
I miss
Sergio.
What is that?
Sorry, go
He
ahead.
says, I miss Carcat. I think I messed up. I didn't do the right thing a long time ago, and now, even though I love Jade, I feel like I'm living a lie. Mr. President, can you keep a secret? And Obama says, yes, I can, Dave. These days, keeping secrets is practically all I ever do down here. And Dave says, I think I'm gay. And it's taken a decade to get Dave to admit that about himself.
To Obama. Naturally.
Wow.
This is the Homestuck epilogues. They didn't know how to end the comics, so they went away for 3 years, and they came back with this.
It's long. Christ.
Yeah, you want to read it?
I admitted
I'm good.
I was pansexual to Nixon.
Oh, yeah.
So. All right, so Austin, you came up with this. Do you want to go next, or you want to go after Josie?
I'll go after Josie.
All right.
Okay.
Josie Ryder,
I'll go Austin.
what book have you brought us?
I don't know if I've talked about this before, but there is one book in the world that I think I've read at least 50 times, like, total.
Would that be Charlie and the Great Glass Elevator?
Absolutely not. It would be Bridge to Terabithia, which I read for the first time because I had to read it in class in 5th grade, and I didn't want to, and I fell in love with this book. It is really cool. If you've ever heard of it, basically it's about this kid named Jesse, and this new girl moves to town named Leslie, and he's like, I'm gonna hate this girl because she's from Oregon and she's quirky and I'm not like that, I'm a farmer boy. But then they become best friends, and she basically like shows him what it's like to have an imagination, and then it has a horrible ending that's really sad that I don't really want to talk about. So instead, I'll just read this one sentence that I think just describes the book. She stole my Twinkies. Thank you.
Hey, maybe that will happen with the book you're reading for school today that you can't seem to get into. Maybe it'll be your favorite book.
Absolutely.
Does it
Yeah.
show up on the camera how readable this page is?
What book are you reading in school?
Wait. She's reading a book that no one's ever heard of that was assigned to her by her teacher.
Can I guess?
Yeah.
I think, is this The Glass Menagerie?
No.
No, that's a play.
Oh.
No, it's the greatest American work of the last 100 years.
Oh, it's like War of the Grapes or something, right?
Grapes of Wrath is a good. That's a good one.
Yeah. What is it?
It's To Kill a Mockingbird.
Oh, I never read that. I know Luna likes that.
No,
I don't know any of that fancy stuff.
No, I don't know what that is.
Harper
What?
Lee.
It's
Never read
bad.
it.
It's not bad.
It's bad.
It's not bad.
It's confusing it with One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
I
That's the
was
same. That's the same thing.
I
No,
was forced
no,
to
no.
read, the book,
Oh.
but I'm only 4 chapters in, and what I know so far, I'd like to give a reenactment of.
Oh, please do.
So there's this house, right? There's this house, and it's like really creepy because like I guess the guy who lives in it like stabbed his dad in the leg or something with a pencil. That's why it's creepy. So anyways, it's this guy, his name is Jim, and he has a little sister named Scout and Jim, and then they're walking, and then they have this friend, his name is Dill, and Dill's like, I dare you to go touch the scary house, Jim, and then Jim is like, I'm not gonna do it, and then Scout's like, you're gonna do it, because then if you don't do it, you're not my brother, and then Jim's like, no, I am, so then he touches the house, and then a lot of other boring stuff happens that's not as entertaining as the first chapter, and I don't care about it. It's a
You
not a
will.
good book.
You will. You will. There's only one classic book that I will give you is overrated.
Of Mice and Men.
No! Are you crazy?
It was so boring, and none of the characters had a good
Oh
plot.
my god.
There's
No.
no likable characters in Of Mice and Men.
Oh. No,
I
I.
wanted to do Twilight, but I couldn't find my Twilight book.
Yeah. It's holding up one of the tables. No, I'm talking about Catcher in the Rye.
I have that one in my bedroom. I've never read it before.
Yeah.
Austin gave it to me.
It speaks to a lot of people, but it never spoke to me. I think the narrator's a layabout, lazy dork, and it doesn't appeal to me in any way. It's not. I think Clockwork Orange is a better book.
To Kill a Mockingbird is not that good.
Oh, you're not into it yet.
Well,
At the end, I'm not going to give away the end, but at the end,
Oh my
when
God.
he says to Scout, stand up, Scout, your father's coming. Oh, it's powerful.
yeah, me too.
Powerful.
I think it's the other Austin's turn.
But you also have a rare version of
I do,
Terabithia.
but it's like enclosed in
Yeah.
this like case because I don't want to touch it.
What is it?
It's a first edition copy from when it first came out.
Yeah, and they're really rare because show your copy. That's typical.
Mine's
Kids read them to
destroyed.
death.
It also says my name in it because I've had it for so long.
Yeah, and nobody collected books back then, so. All right, we're going to go over to Austin 2.
Hello. So I picked Zot. This is the most amazing comic book. I believe this comic book is nothing short of a masterpiece.
Isn't that what your mother uses to scrapbook, or?
Yes, yes. This is a late 80s comic book. The art is just wonderful. The characters are charming. And the best way to describe it is alternative Mr. Rogers. I know it's a strange pitch, but it's basically about a superhero from an alternate world that comes to a very crummy part of New York to help kids with their social problems. So there's one kid who is autistic and has OCD. There's another girl
So you can
who...
relate to this book.
Yes, there's a Luna. There's a girl who's trying to come out of the closet.
So you could relate.
There's a quirky girl that only wears clothing from thrift stores.
Josie, the heck
She's like quirky and alternative.
Very uncalled for.
And it's about how basically the whole thing of the comic is optimism. Like, everything in this book is against these kids. The main character, Jenny, her parents are going through a divorce, so she has that. And even though it's not told from the perspective of the superhero, it's told from the perspective of the love interest. So it's a very different alternative comic. It doesn't have a lot of action. It's mostly character moments. The art is just wonderful. It's very timeless. And even though it's from the 80s, I think it's very contemporary. And I think it's an unsung hero in the comic book landscape.
How come it's never been optioned?
I don't know. It would make a great movie and make a great show. It has a great... I mean, it has an ending. The comic book literally ends. It's a great story, and I think it's really good. So I highly recommend this. Kind of tough to track down now. Try to get it secondhand on like thrift books. I went to comic book conventions trying to find this forever because I went to a thrift store. I found some of the individual issues and really loved them and thought, man, I need to get the collection. So I went to WonderCon. I went to all these comic dealers. They had no clue what I was talking about. Nobody knows what this is. But this is a very good comic book. Very good. Highly recommend it.
Austin, what do you think about it?
You know what comic book I recommend?
Huh.
There's this comic, I don't know if you guys have heard of it, it's fairly brand new. It's called Heart of Winter. It's actually written by
It's
me,
my
of
comic
course.
book.
It's, of course, you know, it stars some furries.
I know, she is. She's doing a good job at
Before
it.
we did this, I told him, are you going to promote your own comic book? And he goes, no, I'm going to do someone else's. So
Well,
I'm doing it
technically-
for him because
technically-
I'm Austin.
Yeah, technically I am promoting my own comic book.
Yeah, I'm doing it for you
Yeah.
because you didn't want to do
Because
it.
there's two of me
Because
now.
you were like, I know when to self-promote. So I'm self-promoting for
Do you want to talk to me about Zot?
Absolutely not.
No?
No.
Okay.
All right.
liking this mini version of you.
I know. I'm okay with
He
this.
loves hanging out with himself.
Yeah, I do. Do you want to stay like that?
Absolutely not.
So I will say...
How do you wear this all day? I feel the dorkiness radiating off of me.
I will say, this is a new segment, so I will be back tomorrow with another book.
He will, not me.
You want to
He
do
will
an
be back.
impression of him at work?
Okay. Beep. Do you want a bag?
No, wait, that's not how I say it. No. Mm-mm.
And then he goes, thank you much.
Thank you much. That is this thing.
And then he grabs his phone and he goes, Mom, I'm on break. And then Mom's sitting on the couch and she goes, a text from Austin.
Oh my
Don't
God.
be jealous of our best friendship. Our mother boy love.
His name in her phone is Austin Favorite.
What?
I'm not going to deny that.
It is.
What is it under yours?
I changed it.
Youngest. And then didn't you change it?
Yeah, I changed
It
it.
used to say youngest, and Luna said oldest, and Austin said favorite.
Mine now has a bunch of emojis.
Mine says Jeff, and then in parentheses, husband.
Just so she remembers.
So she knows
you know?
who I am. All right, well, I'm going to give Josie the camera so I can do my book presentation.
Okay.
Okay, everybody got their books? Here's my book. The Ultimate Visual History of Labyrinth. I got this at WonderCon last year. It's the only purchase I made. I love this book. I love this movie. So these books that are coming out that give you the full history of the movie from conception to shooting to release to promotions. I just love these books. And what makes this one even more special is it is signed, beautifully signed, right here, by Brian Henson himself, who played Hoggle in the movie, son of Jim Henson. He was the producer of Puppet Up at Scary Farm, and I don't usually do this at work, but I said, can he sign my book? And he did. He said, sure, Jeff, I'll sign your. So he talked, sure, Jeff, I'll sign your book right here. And I said, yeah. So look at that. Signed by Brian Henson. And since the person who wrote this movie, Terry Jones, has recently passed away, there's no better signature to get in the book than Brian Henson, whose father directed it, and he played Hoggle. So, Labyrinth, the visual history. Okay, guys, so how is the quarantine going? We'll wrap this episode up with just some final thoughts.
I'm going insane, if you couldn't tell already.
Yeah, I think you've lost your mind.
Me too.
I've been walking a lot. It's a lot of walk shifts, and I love walking, and I don't mind it at all. But man, it's starting to wear thin. I can see the bags in my eyes. So
I'm like day 7. That's
yeah, I want to just kind of lay down.
one more day to go tomorrow, and then you get 2 days off.
Yeah,
Finally.
it's hitting me.
Luna?
Don't have a lot to say.
Playing a lot of Animal Crossing.
Yeah, play a lot of Animal Crossing. I catch a stringfish. It goes away in the morning.
Well, what I think is funny is that you've devoted most of your life to a book called Homestuck, and here you find yourself Homestuck.
Yes.
Rachel, how are you doing? Because you're working from home now.
Does it have any photos?
It's a challenge,
No.
but
It has this.
the students will never know when I'm helping them that this is what they're getting.
Yeah.
And meat.
It's kind of fun.
The epilogues.
Okay. Hey, there I am. So happy Quarantine-Oween, everybody. Stay strong. There's only 4 weeks to go of this.
They said 2 weeks to go 2 weeks ago.
They lied.
Tomorrow's April 1st, and we have to go to April 30th.
We do something fun. We have to do something fun tomorrow.
Yeah, we have to prank ourselves. You know what this is? If I had to find an analogy for it, the president, the governor of California, Newsom, meet the moment. He's treating us as if we are Luke Skywalker on Tatooine. We keep saying we want to get away. We want to join the academy where all of our friends are. And he keeps saying, it's just one more season, Luke. Just one more season. Oh, Gavin. Jeff's just not a farmer. Most of his friends are gone. He's got too much of his father in him. And Gavin Newsom says, that's what I'm afraid of. And then he drinks some blue milk, clears his throat, and then talks like this. You ever seen a guy more in need of a drink of water than Gavin Newsom? If I ever met Gavin Newsom, I would buy him a drink. Because the guy's his throat is as dry as Tatooine. So we've circled up. Did you like that? Guys, any last thoughts?
Stay tuned for more book reviews.
More book
I got
reviews.
more books to talk
Austin's
about.
very into the book reviews.
I'm really into the book reviews.
And so basically, if you're doing the math, let's say in 2 weeks, it'll be Quarantine's-giving. We'll have a full turkey dinner. We'll find a date for that. And then 2 weeks after that,
We can do quarantine turkey hands.
it'll be
Quarantine Christmas.
Quarantine-mas.
And by then, we'll have only 2 months left of quarantine.
Quarantine-mas will be followed.
Quarantine New Year.
When they finally announce when it's over, we will have Quarantine New Year. And we'll have party. Rachel's the party
Then it's my
queen.
quarantine
She's
birthday.
already planning all that. So stay tuned on this thing for Quarantine's Giving, Quarantine-mas, and Quarantine's Eve. We get a lot of comments from people that saying, hey, this is really helping us. So if our idiocy is helping you, we love to do that. And we're going to end this with
The Austins.
the Austins saying it together.
Okay.
Okay.
Tune into the next episode of
91 Reasons. Ew, I look scary. I didn't know I looked like that.
Thanks for listening. By Grandthar's Hammer. We'll be back with another episode. Live long and prosper. May the force be with you. So say we all. Hey, hey, hey.
I can't talk in this thing.
Just be loud.
Here, you open it.
Me?
Talk about what we're doing.
Hello, everybody. It's Witchy Poo here. In quarantine, we're getting a little cray-cray. But it is a special night. What's tonight?
It's happy Quarantine-Oween. No more days till quarantine, quarantine, quarantine. No more days till quarantine. Silver Shamrock.
We just wanted an excuse to celebrate Halloween, but I know there's a lot of you out there celebrating Halloween tonight. I think we should just do this the entire time we're in quarantine, and it won't bother me at all. What do you think, Molly? Oh, wait, I can't show Molly. Show Molly. Can you see Molly? Molly's also a witch.
I think it's ridiculous.
Doesn't she look fabulous?
Yeah,
She's in her Halloween
fabulous.
outfit, too.